All right, all right, all right. Welcome, everybody. I hope you are well. Welcome to the Financial Church. I'm so happy that you are here. I'm excited about today's teaching. Um, see people coming on in. Good, good, good. I'm excited about today's teaching. I've been wanting to teach this for quite some time, and now is the time to share it. Let me get us quickly set up on IG so folks can follow us there. We are growing and we are growing. Every week is getting bigger and bigger and better and better. And that's really, really exciting. And yeah, I just want to thank you for sharing the message and passing the word on to other people so that we can share because these teachings oftentimes they're not told that in terms of church. I love church, but church typically only speaks about money when it comes to tithing and offering. And so we are trying to go beyond that, right? We're trying to go beyond that and see what are the spiritual principles that are really behind money and manifestation. So excited to see you all here. I got an exciting update about our faith fund that I will share with you as we go forward towards the end. Okay, so we are almost set up here. Thank you for being here on time. If you haven't signed up for the text messages, please go and sign up for the text message alerts at thefinancialchurch.com. Thefinancialchurch.com. You'll scroll down and you will see the option to sign up for text messages so that you get alerted when we are going live. Just another way to make sure that you don't miss this amazing content. Of course, for those of you watching the replay of this on YouTube and Facebook and other platforms, I'm glad that you're finding this information, or better yet, this information is finding you. They say when the student is ready, the teacher will come. And so I'm not claiming to be your teacher or anything like that, but you notice how the right things come to us at the right time. So I'm happy that this idea and this ideology has found you at this moment in time, wherever you are in your journey. For those of you who are just joining us live on Instagram right now, I want you to go to juliangordon.com. Again, that's juliangordon.com/TFC. TFC, that's for the Financial Church. juliangordon.com/TFC, so that you can join us on Zoom and actually see the slides that I'll be teaching from today. Okay, so go there and we're gonna get started here in just a second. So again, thank you everybody for being here. I hope you were able to go to your own church service, whether that is a physical space. Obviously, nobody's going to a physical space, whether it's celebrating in fellowship with another community or whether it's going within the temple of your mind, right? We know that the temple is here. This is why this is called our temples. And we know that the closet of our, going into the closet means going into ourselves, right? So however you celebrate it, I hope you took some time this morning to spend time with your creator, however you define that. This is a non-denominational space, though we pull heavily from the Bible for the spiritual principles that I teach from, because that is my background. That is a text that I was born into and more familiar with. So this message, though, speaks on universal principles, so it applies to all. So again, thank you all for being here. Can you see me and hear me? Everybody, are we good? All right. So if you're on Instagram, if you're on Facebook, you're on YouTube, please share this, hit the heart button, hit the like button. We want this message to get out. It's going to be absolutely powerful. If you've been here with us for the past weeks, you know how powerful these messages have been. And I'm really excited to share this one with you today. Let me know if you are a vet, type vet if you are a vet, and type new if you are new. Type vet if you are a vet, and type new if you are new. All right. Type vet if you were a vet and new if you're new. Okay, so we got some new folks and we got veterans. Good. So every week there's a lot of repetition. And the reason there's repetition is because that's how we reprogram the subconscious mind, which is within us, right? And so although these principles may sound simple on the surface level, they have to be repeated over and over and over again for us to really not just know them, but not just believe them, but to know them. There's a difference between believing something and knowing something, okay? Believing something is 100% based on faith. Faith is evidence of things not seen, right? But when you know something, it means that you've actually experienced it, and you move more powerfully when you know something than when you just believe it. Though people use those two things synonymously, knowing and believing, they're not actually the same. So the reason I repeat myself oftentimes is because we have to wash out years and years and years and decades and decades and decades of conditioning in terms of how we are meant to relate to our creator, how we are meant to manifest and create in our lives, and how we are supposed to be relating to money. And so you'll hear a lot of repetition over and over in these messages. But as you can see, the veterans continue to come back over and over and over again, because these are messages that they know they want in their heart and their mind. And welcome to all the people who are new. We celebrate you. We're excited to have you here. And so let's go in. I'm going to start sharing my screen. If you are joining us on Instagram, you want to go to juliangordon.com/TFC, which stands for The Financial Church. If you want to see the slides, I teach from slides. So I came up with a new word, y'all. Y'all know I love creating words, right? Y'all want to know what I'm calling it right now? These are treachings. These are teachings, because I'm teaching and preaching. Because, you know, you can go to some motivational speech or a church and you just get preaching and you come up riled up and fired up and things of that nature. Okay. But then there's teaching, which is, you know, like you really understood. You weren't just on an emotional high, but you really understood. And the individual that was leading you was breaking it down so that it was forever broken. Okay. So I'm preaching today. All right. I'm preaching today. So that's the word that I have right now. You know, I love playing with language. So y'all about to get trot. Y'all about to get trot. All right, so let's get it in. All right, so welcome to the Financial Church. This is our service on April 19th, 2019, and today we're talking about how to turn thoughts into things, how to turn the ideas that are in your mind into manifestation, and what is your real work in that equation. Some of you saw my Instagram post earlier on this week talking about how we actually manifest, and I'm going to go over the 3 ways that we manifest, and what we're trying to tap into is the third one. All right, so welcome everybody to the Financial Church. Here is where we teach financial spirituality, and we learn how to master manifestation in addition to money. So financial spirituality, what is it? A lot of times people think that those 2 things are separate. Faith and finance are 2 different things, but we see them as one, okay? And so actually I see them as one. For those of you who are new, since we have a lot of new people, my goal is not to convert you into my belief system or my thinking. What I'm doing is I'm sharing with you how I've been able to manifest and create all that I've created. Everything that you've seen in terms of my success, it is all backed by spiritual principles and concepts, okay? I give all my success to my creator, all right? And so what I'm attempting to do with you is break down the unseen, because what you see in terms of demonstration, and the reason some of you are here is because of what you've actually seen in terms of my physical manifestation. That's not what I want to lead with, okay? I actually want to show you the unseen, which is the spirituality behind everything, the spirituality behind my success, okay? So when I say these things, I'm speaking from the I point, okay? And maybe one day you and I will be in agreement and it'll be a we, but everything that I share is from the I point, and I'm not asking or don't expect you to agree with everything I say, but I do encourage you to try it out. That's all, okay? There's no judgment. I don't care what belief system, what religion you're affiliated with, etc. That does not matter here, okay? Did God have a religion? No, okay? Didn't, okay? So that doesn't matter here. What we're trying to do is uncover universal principles that are oftentimes connected to our spirituality, and we're trying to apply those. And of course, because of my upbringing, the one we pull from the most is the Bible and Christianity, okay? So financial spirituality is the practice of mastering manifestation and money by learning how God creates and using the power of your mind, imagination, prayers, words, and works to bring heaven, which is in the mind. Heaven is not some place that you go to after you die, okay? Heaven is in the mind. Jesus said, it is here, it is neither here nor there, it is in your midst. Heaven is here in your temple, okay? So we're trying to bring heaven on earth, which is the material experience that we're all having, okay? I come that you may have life and have it more abundantly, and I'm on earth as it is in heaven, okay? So that you may have life and have it more abundantly. So I'll repeat that. Financial spirituality is the practice of mastering manifestation and money by learning how God creates and using the power of your mind, imagination, prayers, words, and works to bring heaven, which is the mind, on earth, which is the material world, so that you may have life and have it more abundantly. All right. So That is how we define financial spirituality at this moment in time. Again, if you're joining us on Facebook or Instagram, you want to go to juliangordon.com/TFC, the Financial Church, to see the slides. We are teaching today, not just preaching. So I don't just want you to hear me. I want you to be able to see what the slides that I'm teaching from here on Zoom. Okay. I got some interesting information this week, actually, from one of our attendees. And they said, look up the word spiritualities. And you know what I found, y'all? When I looked up the word spiritualities, look at this. Spiritualities is a term often used in the Middle Ages that refers to income sources of a diocese or other ecclesiastical establishments that come from tithes. And yes, last week, what did we do? We talked about tithes and our interpretation, or my interpretation of tithes and how we should be tithing. It also refers to income that comes from other religious sources, such as offerings or from church services or ecclesiastic fines. Under the Canon law, spiritualities were only allowed to be to clergy. In the 19th century, spiritualities or spirituals were revenue collected with the spiritual duties and the cure of souls, and they consist almost entirely of tithes, glebe lands, and houses. So this is really powerful because last week we discussed tithing and how we actually are the Levites when we are doing God's work. Okay, that is the way that I want to get paid. There are other ways to get paid in this material reality, but I want my income source to be from doing God's work. Okay. And I believe that that's the most reliable income source that there is. So when I saw this definition, I was really moved that this is what spiritualities actually meant. Okay. Now here in this belief system, there are some core beliefs. There are 5 core beliefs that are pillars to how I move and how I relate to manifestation and to money. Okay. One is, I believe first and foremost that as a child of God, I have access to everything that is in God's will. Okay. When you are written in the will of your parents, that means that one day you will have access to that. And it doesn't have to be when they die. They can give you access to those things before, because you are their child. The next belief is that I seek first the kingdom of God, knowing that all the things I need will be added unto me. So this is about prioritization and making sure that we put things in order. There are people who try to seek the things and then God on the back end. But I found that the easiest way is to seek ye first the kingdom of God and know that all these things will be added unto me. I know that I am about my Father's business. And when I am, I will have life and I will have it more abundantly. Okay. This is the most profitable business of all time, is being and doing God's work. Okay. I believe that I'm here to manifest the divine ideas planted in the heaven of my mind by the Creator on earth, which is my material experience. And I believe there is more than enough. I have more than enough, and I am more than enough. So these are some core beliefs to how I move and relate to money. Okay. Everybody in Zoom, can you hear me and see me? I know the chat went quiet really quick. Okay, just checking. I didn't see anybody talking. All right. So the text that we rely heavily on is the Bible here. It is the richest book in the world in my eyes. It has stood the test of time. And I just want to say, read it. Read it. Okay. Now, again, you do not have to be Christian to learn from these principles. These are universal principles that I'm extracting from the text. The Bible is not a Christian text. Okay. It is used by Christians, but it is not a Christian text. Okay. And so what I invite you to do as you listen in, you may not agree with everything, but what I invite you to do is I want you to look for one thing that you can take from this teaching. Okay. Again, like I said, I believe that the Bible is the richest book ever. And I have a very biblical approach to how I think about manifestation and money. So this is the source that I pull from. I also believe that Jesus was the richest man to ever walk the face of the earth. Now, he didn't need to be rich in terms of material possession, okay, because he knew what he was connected to. He knew who his father, mother God was, and therefore he didn't need to have material possession. He could manifest and multiply things right in your midst. He could turn water into wine. He could turn some fish and some loaves of bread and multiply it to feed 5,000, right? So you don't need to have possessions when you know you can manifest almost instantaneously in the matter of time, okay? And so what I want us to do, because we know that our breath is our connection to our spiritual source. Why is that? Because we know that our breath is the only thing that we cannot stop. Our breath and our heart actually are 2 things that we cannot stop. So in fact, it is the Spirit and it is our Creator that is breathing through us. Unless we commit suicide, that is the only way that we can stop the breath. Okay. So we know that there is something actually breathing through us, and we are actually instruments. And what we want to do is we want to clear any blockage that we have from allowing that thing, however you define it, whatever you call it, to breathe through us and make a sweet, sweet sound. So what I want us to do is pause for a moment and be still. I want us to take 3 deep breaths in. And what you're doing is you are inhaling and connecting with your source, again, however you define that, right? Such a beautiful thing. Unless you have asthma, unless you're dealing with coronavirus, which is a respiratory disease, right? Disease. It's a respiratory disease. Most of us don't think about the breath. We just take it for granted. And in doing so, we are also taking God for granted. So every now and again, just take, what was that, 30 seconds to inhale 3 times and reconnect with your source. We plug in our cell phones all the time. We worried about our cell phone battery. Oh, my mess is all 16. I need to go plug in. Oh man, I ain't got my charger. Where's an outlet? We're trying to plug in our cell phone all the time. We're trying to make sure that we connected to Wi-Fi all the time. How about we plug in to our source simply through breathing? You don't need to do anything. You don't need to go anywhere. You don't need any other devices. Okay. All you need is your nostrils and your lungs, and you can connect with your source at any given time. In fact, I did it with my daughter this morning. She had lost a Lego piece, and we had a whole bunch of Legos out. And I said, baby, pause, because she was getting frustrated. I said, baby, pause, and just breathe. She closed her eyes. She did exactly what this woman is doing here on the carpet. And she opened her eyes. Within 3 seconds, she found the peace that she was looking for. Within 3 seconds, she found the peace that she was looking for. Okay? So wherever you are, breathing and connecting with your breath is essential. Okay? It is essential. All right? So in today's teaching, we want to start going in. All right? And as we know, man shall not live on bread alone, but on every word that comes from the mouth of God. And word is just breath with vibration added to it, and your tongue is what adds that vibration to the breath. So we know the power of breath and why we have to connect with it, because it is how our Creator. We are being breathed through. We are not the ones breathing, and that's part of the lesson today. Is that we're not the ones that are always doing the work. We are the ones that are being breathed through, and so we have to start to recognize how to align as opposed to hustle. Okay. I know you've seen a lot of, you got to hustle hard, you got to hustle hard. You can play that game if you want, right? But we're going to talk about how to align. So there are 3 ways to manifest, okay? There are 3 ways to manifest anything in life. And I was caught up on the second way, and this is where I became a workaholic. And ultimately what we want to do is we want to elevate to our highest form of manifestation, okay, or creation. Okay. And so the first way is manipulation, and the root word mano has to do with hand. Okay, it has to do with hand. The root word mano has to do with hand. Okay, so manipulation is a sleight of hand, and that is being deceiving in order to create what you want, and that is reliance on the devil. Now, I don't believe in the devil as a character. I don't believe the devil is anything external. The devil is our base self within us. The devil is our base self within us. And if you look at the word devil, it literally means lived backwards. The word devil flipped around backwards is lived. So when we are living backwards, we are manifesting devilish things, okay? So for me, again, the devil is not this outside entity that's working against me, because if God be for me, who can be against me? If God be for me, who can be against me? For me, there is no devil outside of myself, right? Anything that I'm doing that is not in alignment with the Creator, anything that I'm doing that is not in alignment with the Creator is devilish. Okay? But it's not this. We as human beings, we tend to personify everything. Okay? We personify God and make God look like a man. What do you think a cow would make God look like? What do you think a cow would make God look like? A cow would make God look like a golden cow. What do you think a lizard would make God look like? A lizard would make God look like some big giant lizard. So we tend to personify all these things. And so we've made the devil into this external thing that we can blame for why we are out of alignment, which is sin, right? Okay. Not sin as in you were some evil thing or you were born with sin. Okay. No, sin literally means to miss the mark. And so we create this character that's outside of ourselves to blame and point, hey, God, that thing outside of me made me do this. No, that's not how I perceive the devil. The devil is any incongruent thought or idea or feeling inside of me that is not in alignment with the creator, okay? So we see a lot of people trying to manifest with manipulation. Bernie Madoff, right? And you hear the power of names, yo. Bernie Madoff. Bernie Madoff. This is the power of our language. And I'm going to do a teaching on the power of our tongue, okay? Because our language, we have a whole bunch of death in our language. We have a whole bunch of negativity in our natural language. I love you to death. Why would I love you to death? How about I love you to life? Okay? Good morning. No, God doesn't mourn. God knows that there is no separation between life and death. It's just a transition. God doesn't mourn. God knows there's a transition. You ain't dead in God's mind and eyes. So in a lot of our language, right? Even Michael Jackson, I'm bad. I'm bad. Just affirming it, I'm bad. Okay? So we have to be very careful with our language. If you listen to yourself, if I could transcribe everything that you said, and remember, there is scripture that says you will have to account for every word that is uttered from your mouth. Every word. Oh, I didn't mean that. Well, the subconscious mind takes everything literally. It doesn't know if you meant it or not. So we have to be very careful with our word, all right? I got a lot to say, y'all. We might go long today, but let's get it in. Next is manpower. And manpower is when you are relying on your own hands to create. And these are powerful hands. These hands are extension of God. But this is where you've separated from God and you start relying on hustling or hard work to try to create the things that you desire. I have no question whatsoever about all of your abilities to work hard. And many of you have been working hard in this, and I was too. You know, I actually slipped early on when I didn't understand these principles. I was a workaholic. I could not stop working. I was literally addicted to work. Okay. And I thought that if I just worked harder, because that's what everybody told me, if I just worked harder than everybody else, then I would be able to create more and have more. And that can only get you so far. But if you use manipulation and manpower, they will only get you so far before you get caught manipulating, or manpower only gets you so far before you get burned out as an individual. Okay. So the third one is actually manifestation. And this is where we rely on God's invisible hand to manifest. Okay. And this is about aligning with the creator, right? What do we hear? Whose business do we work for? I don't care what's on your business card, etc. I don't care what LLC, your name of your LLC is. I'm about my father's business. I'm about my father and mother's business, my parents' business, okay? And I'm trying to align with that. I'm trying to stay in the will. And when you stay in the will and you rely, right, on the God in you, you will find that you are able to reap 100-fold what you could have reaped or what you were trying to reap, just relying on your own hard work and manpower. Now, I'm not saying you do not have to work hard. What we're going to get clear on today is what is your actual work? Where is it that you are actually working hard? What you thought was supposed to be on your to-do list, what you thought was hard work that you were putting on your to-do list, that's actually not your work. That is not your work. And we're going to uncover what that real work is today, okay? So I want to start off with a couple scriptures that are going to set us up for today's teaching. The first one is from Mark 4:26-29. It said, he also said, this is what the kingdom of God is like. A man scatters seed, the kingdom, and we know is here, okay? It's in our temples, it's in our minds, it's in our midst, okay? A man scatters seed on the ground, night and day, whether he sleeps or gets up, the seed sprouts and grows, though he does not know how. Do y'all hear that? Whether he sleeps or gets up, the seed sprouts and grows. What we're talking about, what is being talked about here is the subconscious mind. When you go to sleep at night, what wakes you up out of bed to go to the bathroom? In chat, let me know. What wakes you up to go get out of bed and go to the bathroom? What is breathing? What is causing you to breathe in the middle of the night? Are you thinking about your heartbeats? Are you worried about your bowel movements? No, the subconscious mind is doing all that work while you are consciously asleep. Remember, the Bible is a whole bunch of allegories. There are some people who take the Bible literally, and then they're out here cutting off their hands because one scripture says, if one hand calls you to sin, then cut it off. So they're out here taking the Bible literally. The Bible is allegorical. There are some literal parts, and we have to be able to decipher which ones are literal and which ones are allegory, but the Bible is full of allegories. Why did Jesus speak in parables? Okay? Because he was trying to reveal spiritual principles that if he tried to make plain on earth and just was straightforward with it, people wouldn't have been able to make the connection, okay? So all by itself, the soil produces grain. You hear this? All by itself. All by itself. First the stalk, then the head, then the full kernel in the head. As soon as, and wow, y'all. Watch this, y'all. Where's the full kernel, y'all? Where does it say the full kernel is, y'all? Should have underlined this earlier. The full kernel is where? Look at this. This man was brilliant. This man was brilliant. The full kernel was in the head. You think that was not intentional? You don't think he was careful with his words? You don't think he knew what he was doing? The full kernel was in the head, yo. It's right here. So when you're able to understand the Bible from a metaphysical standpoint, you're going to see things and things are going to be revealed to you that you had never seen before, okay? So I encourage you to keep on rereading that text, especially the Gospels, over and over and over again. And every time I read them, new things are revealed to me. So as soon as the grain is ripe, he puts the sickle to it because the harvest has come, okay? So that's one. And we could just go off that right now, okay? So John 14:10. Do you not believe that I am in the Father and the Father is in me? That I am in God and God is in me, okay? That's what we say here. In the words that I speak to you, I do not speak from myself. Why? Because God is breathing through me and my tongue is what's adding vibration to the word, right? So, but the Father dwelling in me does his works. This is where Jesus was saying, the other translation of this is, of myself, I can do nothing. The Father doeth all the works. Of myself, this is Jesus, y'all. Of myself, I do nothing. The Father doeth all the works. What if we hear what has happened to that? Now, this is not an invitation to be lazy. I just want to be clear. This is not an invitation to be lazy, but this is us getting clear about what our true work is. Oh, I can't wait. It's already juicy, y'all. It's already juicy up here right now, okay? Let's keep going. James 2:18 through 19. But someone will say, you have faith and I have works. You show me your faith without works and I will show you my faith by my works. You believe that there is one God. You do well. Even the demons believe and tremble. But do you want to know, O foolish man, that faith without works is dead? So this confuses a lot of people. People reference it all the time, but it confuses people because they perceive it as, I have to go do all of this hard work. I have to go toil, right? And that is not what it's saying. And so we misinterpret the scripture. And by the end of today's teaching, you'll have a different understanding of what this actually means, okay? And I'll end with this one from Proverbs before we go into the actual model that I'm going to show you, which is PWWP, okay? So Proverbs 23:7 is, for as a man thinketh, right, in his heart. I want to be clear, when we're talking about the heart in the Bible, okay, it is referring to the subconscious mind or the heart mind, okay? There's a heart-mind connection. So as a man thinketh, notice it doesn't say as a man. We typically think thinking happens in our mind, right? But this scripture says as a man thinketh in his heart. Wait a second. You're telling me the heart can think? Yes, because there's a heart mind. And that heart mind is our connection to source. This is why love is so key, because this is where it comes from. It comes from this space, okay? When we just think from logic, oftentimes we miss the mark and we sin, okay? When we just think from logic, oftentimes we miss the mark and sin. When we think from love, we can never go wrong, okay? So when you think just from the brain or from the mind and you think of logic, then we can sin. But when you think from love, you can never go wrong, all right? This is the emotion, okay? The emotion, electrons or electromagnetic energy in motion, okay? So as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Eat and drink, saith he to thee, but his heart is not with thee, okay? So let's keep it pushing. So what I want to share with you today is the what I call the mental trinity, okay? Where this is the context of which we'll be talking about is the mental trinity. And the mental trinity is the earth, which is the conscious mind, okay? Because you know Jesus makes a lot of reference to seeds, and he wasn't literally speaking about seeds, okay? He was not literally speaking about seeds. So the earth is the conscious mind. It's what we are aware of in this external reality. The conscious mind is in tune with our five senses, and this is how we have this physical material experience, okay? Heaven is the subconscious mind, which is in here, okay? So the kingdom of heaven is within, right? Heaven is the subconscious mind. And then the sun, because no plant, no seed can grow without sunlight. So the sun is the superconscious or God mind, AKA Christ consciousness. Why do you think Jesus is called the Son? Why do you think Jesus is called the Son of God? S-O-N or S-U-N? This is all one big allegory and metaphor that we are here to decode. So earth is the conscious mind, heaven is the subconscious mind, and then there's a superconscious, which is the God mind, which is the light. Our sun is our most powerful source of energy. It's how, without the sun, all of this goes to pretty much hell and darkness, okay? And so the sun is a superconscious or God mind, aka Christ consciousness. So we want all these things to be in tune and in alignment because this is how we will manifest at a very, very high level, okay? So given that we are planting seeds, we are gardeners, okay? And you see how I broke up the word. We are guarding within earth. We are gardeners. We are guarding the mind. That is our work. That is our work. In the Garden of Eden, which is here, not someplace on a map that you can point to. It is neither here nor there. It is here, okay? So we are here to stand guard on this internal spiritual space that we call the subconscious and superconscious mind. I'll keep it real with you. A gardener does not know how to grow a plant. What you mean? A farmer does not know how to grow a plant. A woman does not know how to grow a baby. A woman does not know how to go into the womb and piece the baby and the child together so that then it manifests. A farmer does not know how to make all the parts of a plant go underground, make all the parts of the plant come together and manifest it. The farmer and the woman, or the womb, holds the space, right? They create the conditions of success for that thing to unfold and to manifest. That is our work, not putting the baby together, not building the business and putting it together, not trying to do whatever it is that you're trying to do, right? Not writing the book. I'm in the midst of writing a book right now. It is not me that's writing the book. I have to get out the way. Me as a personality of Julian Gordon has to get out of the way, and I have to let the creator flow through me for that book to come out. I want my fingertips to be direct extensions of God when they hit the keys, not me trying to think my way through the book. When I do that, then that's when I have writer's block. When I try to do it, when I get in the way, that's when I have writer's block. I want every word to be inspired, just like every single book in the Bible and all the books that were excluded from the Bible. I want it to be divine words so that when it hits people's eyes and ears, they know it was inspired. In fact, my first book, The 8-Cylinder Success, around how to find your life's purpose, I was rereading that 10 years after I wrote it. I couldn't believe that I actually wrote that book. I was reading, I was like, who wrote this? I was 10 years younger. Where was I? I couldn't believe that I actually wrote that book. This is what we want. This is how we want to create, okay? So we are gardeners. We are guarding the inside, and so that is our work. It is not the actual to-do list, okay? And so let's go through this. The conscious versus subconscious mind, I want to break this down, and this is all scientific, so I want you to understand, okay? A lot of us are trying to fix our life and our reality by addressing the conscious mind. But if the subconscious mind controls 90% of your life and you don't address it, you can continue to work on that 10% on the tip of the iceberg, and you will still find yourself manifesting the same thing over and over and over again. So we have to get to the subconscious, and then to the degree that we can achieve Christ consciousness, which is a very hard thing to do. I don't think it's meant to be hard, but I think we are hard-headed. Okay, because Jesus said, you will even do even greater things than these. He said, you will do even greater things than these. So we are all meant to attain it, but we have inward blockages, okay? So the conscious mind only processes 40 bits per second. The subconscious mind processes 40 million bits per second. It is way more powerful than the conscious mind. In fact, if you have a threat coming at you, your subconscious mind, the fight or flight, taps in before your conscious mind is even aware of it. The fight or flight mechanism taps in before your conscious mind is even aware of it. If you've ever been driving tired is actually worse than driving drunk, okay? But I was driving tired before. How many, just keep it real, how many of you have been driving tired? How many have driven tired before? Let me know in chat. Yeah, it's dangerous, and I won't do it again. But right when you were about to doze off, your conscious mind was about to go to sleep, what kicks into gear? What kicks into gear? Your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind kicks into gear, okay? So this is the power of the subconscious mind. Conscious mind is short-term memory. Subconscious mind is long-term memory, okay? It remembers everything, okay? Conscious mind decides truth by reasoning. Subconscious mind decides truth by repetition. So if a lie is repeated to you enough, you were poor, you were poor, you grew up in poverty, you were poor, you grew up in poverty, you were poor. Poverty or poor is a condition, okay? But if we define ourselves by that external condition, then we start to have a poverty consciousness. And then once we have a poverty consciousness, then the poverty just perpetuates itself, okay? So through repetition, the subconscious mind is reprogrammed. This is why I repeat myself so much. The conscious mind sees and records what it chooses. This is called confirmation bias, when you only see what you want to see. The subconscious mind sees and records everything as it is. It takes everything literally. So your subconscious mind will never lie, okay? The conscious mind works from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. when you wake up, right? And go to sleep. And the conscious mind works 24/7. It works 24/7. It never turns off, right? A lot of you never turn off your computer, right? It is working 24/7. If you're trying to upload something or download something, you're gonna go to sleep, the computer is still working. You've left the computer on. Subconscious mind is even more powerful than your computer, okay? This conscious mind has the power to use words. The subconscious mind has no verbal language except yay or nay, yes or no. Amen, it is done, and so it is, okay? The subconscious mind has no verbal language. It pretty much, its primary word is yes. Okay, that's what you want, yes, okay? Conscious mind looks for meaning. The subconscious mind takes everything literally, okay? The conscious mind uses the 5 senses or the eyes, okay? The subconscious mind uses intuition and inner knowing, or your third eye, which I actually believe is your first eye. I believe your first eye, your subconscious mind, or your first eye was there before your physical eyes, okay? Then your conscious mind is master, okay? This is where your power is. The conscious mind is master. So I wish, or I wish, okay? And then your subconscious mind is servant. Your wish is my command. Your wish is my command, right? Then the conscious mind is all based on willpower, and it governs voluntary actions, things you have to think about doing, okay? The subconscious mind is God power, not willpower, but God power, and it governs involuntary actions. And we can take a voluntary action, like when you're learning to brush your teeth when you're a kid, at some point, maybe by the age of 3, maybe by the age of, my daughter, now she does it without thinking about it. She knows to do it before she goes to sleep. It's now moved into the subconscious, involuntary. She doesn't have to think about it, doesn't have to put thought energy towards it, okay? Conscious mind, it projects you. The subconscious mind protects you. And then the conscious mind, it operates in the past, present, and the future. The subconscious mind only operates in the here and now. It only operates in the here and now. So when we say our prayer, amen, which basically says, and so it is. So it is right now. Right now. We can imagine something in our mind, and the subconscious mind will perceive it as actually happening in the physical realm right now. Okay? So it doesn't work on time. It doesn't work on a linear time scale. Time is man-made. We made it up. Okay? So I just wanted to make those distinctions before we went forth. Okay? So in Mark 4:8, it reads, still the other seed fell on good soil. And we know that the good soil, based on the chart I just showed you, is what? The subconscious mind or the heart mind. That is the good soil. Okay? When the heart is not open, then new seeds and ideas can't come in. When love is not open, and this is not just romantic love. We're not talking about eros. We're talking about agape love for your brother and sister, filial and agape love. That's what we're talking about. When the heart is open, that's good soil. Okay, I'm ready to receive. All right. So still other seeds or thoughts fell on the good soil. It came up and grew and produced a crop, some multiplying 30, some 60, some 100 times. When thoughts or ideas that come from your conscious mind or pass through your conscious mind and you grab through your attention are implanted in good soil in the subconscious mind because it is open and ready to receive, you multiply by 30, 60, and 100. This is what we're trying to tap into, okay? This is what we're trying to tap into in the way that we manifest. We're not manipulating. We don't want to do that. That doesn't feel good. We don't want to just rely on manpower because we'll be limited by the flesh. We want to go beyond that. Matthew 18, and 19 says, truly I tell you, whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven. Okay, we already know what earth and heaven is. Whatever you bind, right, in this physical reality will be bound in the mental, and whatever you loose in the physical reality will also be loosed in heaven. Let go or released. Again, I tell you truly that if two of you on earth, right, two of you on earth agree about anything you ask for, it will be done for you by my Father in heaven. Peep this, y'all. Oftentimes when we are talking about this, when we think of you, we think of two human beings. And guess what? As above, so below. As below, so above. It does apply when two human beings, two business partners, Hewlett and Packard, right? Jay-Z and Damon Dash, Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak, okay? Dr. Dre and Jimmy Iovine, right? When two agree, then powerful things can occur. Or husband and wife, or wife and wife, or husband and husband. When two agree, we know that powerful things can occur. But we know that Jesus speaks in allegories. So peep game. The two is actually when your subconscious mind and your conscious mind agree. The two is when your subconscious mind and your conscious mind agree. When those two things agree, it will be done for you by my Father in heaven. This is what we're trying to get to agree. Oftentimes the conscious thoughts of I want to be rich isn't aligning with your subconscious thoughts, the programming that has been entrenched for a long time. And this is why you're not manifesting at the level that you desire, because the conscious thought that you just spoke with your word, and your word is powerful, it's not enough to counter the 90% subconscious mind where the true programming is really at. But if you can get these two things to agree, your conscious and your subconscious mind to agree, then you will start to manifest at a very high level. This is not just, anytime you see scripture just talking about people, I want you to look a little, I want you to read between the lines and go a little bit deeper. What is this saying about inside of me? When my subconscious and my conscious mind align, when what I say I want aligns with who I believe I am, right? When those two things align, there's nothing that can stop me from creating the reality that I desire here on earth. All right? So, moving forward. PWWP. Here's our work, y'all. Here's our work. If you are on Facebook or Instagram, please go to juliangordon.com/TFC, The Financial Church, juliangordon.com/TFC, because I'm about to break down the PWWP framework. PWWP framework. This is our work, y'all. This is our work. What you thought was your work on your to-do list is not the work. This is our work, okay? So The first responsibility that we have, the first P in the PWWP framework, is we plant. We are the ones who plant the seed, meaning that we choose the thought that we're going to give attention to. There are many thoughts passing around, running past you like a river all the time, based on the frequency that you were tapped into, based on the emotional frequency and the vibration and the feeling that you're at. If you're tuned into a negative frequency, if you're watching CNN and they're talking about all the deaths, then you're going to be at a low frequency, and the thoughts that come past you will be based on that frequency. But if you are able to transcend and rise above that, you are going to be able to tap into thoughts that somebody that's down here cannot tap into. They can't even hear them. They're all there. The radio waves, for those of you who have car radios, the radio waves are all out there. They're passing by you right now. But the only way that you can access it in your car is when you turn to a specific dial or frequency. Okay? So thoughts are all out there. The thought about how we're going to get to the moon, it's out there. How we're going to create life on the moon. The thought of the airplane was there in the beginning. There's nothing new under the sun. The thought of the airplane was there in the beginning. Okay? But our consciousness hadn't elevated to a point where we could see it yet. We hadn't tapped into that frequency, but it was there. That's why there's nothing new under the sun. It's all here. All possibility already exists right here in the present moment. And the only possibilities that you can see are the ones based on your level of frequency and how you're feeling at a given moment. My Father's house has many rooms. God's mind, we know that the house means mind, right? God's house, the mansion, has many rooms, infinite possibilities for you to explore and to dwell in. Okay? But you will only have access to the rooms, right, that your frequency matches. Oh, no, you're not ready to go to the 198th floor. You're not ready. You're not even aware that it's there. Your elevator, based on where you're at in your journey, your fluctuations, you only can go from zero. You can only go from the basement, because some people are having a hellish experience. You can only go from the basement to the 13th floor. That's based on your experience and your consciousness at this moment. It's not permanent. It's just at this moment. There's other people whose consciousness will only allow them to go from floor 30 to 69. Okay? That's their consciousness. So their bottom will never be in the basement. They will never slip back into hellish thinking. Okay? There's other people whose consciousness will only let them go from 100 to 150. So they fluctuate between those two things. Even when you read the New Testament, the Gospels, Jesus' consciousness fluctuates. He goes from, Father, please take this cup from me. Thy will be done, not my will, to I and my Father are one. In the Gospels, he fluctuates in his consciousness as he's stepping into his ministry and as he's stepping into his purpose and his identity. Okay? But he was operating at a high level. He was on floor 1,000. His lowest was floor 1,098. And his thing went all the way to the top, wherever the top is. Okay? Wherever Tower of Babel was being built to, his consciousness goes up there. But our consciousness, we're trying to elevate. We're just trying to elevate every single day. Trying to elevate every single day. All right? So I say this to say, you are choosing thoughts. The menu of thoughts that you have is based on your frequency and your level of consciousness. How many of y'all been to In-N-Out? How many of y'all been in In-N-Out Burger? In-N-Out Burger has a very basic menu. A hamburger, cheeseburger, double cheeseburger, french fries, milkshake, soda, okay? But how many of you know the hidden menu? Type me if you know the hidden menu at In-N-Out. Type me if you know the hidden menu at In-N-Out. Okay? In-N-Out, see, Carmelita's like, what? Hidden menu? There's a hidden menu at In-N-Out. You could literally walk up to the register and order, what is it? What is the name of the fries? Not sloppy fries, it's animal style. You could literally walk up and say, I want animal style burger or fries. You could literally walk up and say that. And the waiter, the server, subconscious mind, the subconscious mind will say, perfect, and so it is. Boom, 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 boom. Here's your animal style fries. It wasn't on the menu. This menu that you were choosing from was based on your level of consciousness. But there's somebody else who has a higher level of consciousness about what's available to them at In-N-Out, and they can walk straight up to the same person that you walked up to and order something that was not even seen on the menu. So choosing your thoughts is key. But know that the thoughts that you're choosing are literally based on probably a limited menu. And what we're trying to do is access higher and higher thoughts that are more in alignment with God, closer to God, okay? Higher and higher thoughts. Y'all with me? Starbucks also has a hidden menu. Better ask somebody, all right? Y'all with me? Y'all with me, okay? So the first work that we have to do, our work as gardeners, is to plant, which is choosing the thought that we're going to give attention and energy to. Thousands and thousands of thoughts are going to pass by you. Advertisements are bombarding you every single day. But your responsibility is to choose which one you're going to give attention to. It doesn't matter if they're passing by. If you're not giving attention to them, then they just evaporate from your experience. Y'all with me? Y'all with me? So type 1 dot plant. Type 1 dot plant. 1 dot plant. Okay, that is your first job. All right, if you're on Instagram or Facebook, please go to juliangordon.com/TFC so you can see the imagery that I have. I'm preaching today, okay? Preaching is teaching and preaching. I'm not just trying to get you on some spiritual high and then it evaporates 30 minutes after you leave. No, I want you to know what I know. Not believe, I want you to know what I know. That's preaching, okay? That's my new word, preaching. Okay, so everybody on IG and Facebook, please go to juliangordon.com/TFC right now, okay? So moving forward, our first responsibility is to plant. Matthew 24:42-43 says, watch, therefore, for ye know not what hour your Lord doth come. But know that if the good man of the house had known it in what watch the thief would come, he would have watched and would have suffered his house to being broken up, okay? So what is Jesus talking about here? What Jesus is talking about is not a thief breaking into somebody's house. He's not talking about burglary, y'all, okay? Watching is giving attention to or watering the seed. You have to keep watch if you truly believe in that seed, okay? You don't know it yet because you haven't experienced it yet. It's a thought that you planted that you want to manifest. So you have to believe. Watching is equivalent to watering the seed, continuing to give it attention and energy. That is your second job. That is your second job, is to water the seed, to nurture it, to keep watch. Because if you don't keep watch, then the next one is going to happen. So the next W, the first W, is to water. You plant the seed and you water it, okay? So please type 2.water. 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 That is my second job. That's my second to-do list item. I don't know what you got on your to-do list right now. That's not it. This is your second to-do list item, is to water the seed, okay? Which means continuing to give it energy and attention. Good energy and attention. Not fear, doubt, and worry, okay? Belief, faith, okay? So that is our second job. So now you see in the upper left, I forgot to mention, there is the packet of seeds. And for those of you who weren't with us in our earlier this month, we know that our thoughts are the seeds. Our thoughts are the seeds. And when you look, if you go to Home Depot, when you go to Home Depot or Lowe's and you go get a packet of seeds, you recognize that the word on the package does not say tomato seeds. The word on the package just says tomato. The word on the package does not say tomato seeds. It just says tomato. So even though the seed is not in its finished form yet, it's basically in thought form, it is identified on the package by its finished form. So you have to hold belief that this thing is already in its finished form right here and right now, even if you can't see it yet. This is the work that's hard. This is where faith comes in. And if you just had a faith of a mustard seed, you start to see some magical things and miracles happen in your life. Miracles are not just confined to Jesus or the Old Testament. Miracles are happening in my life every single day. Miracles are happening in this world every single day for those who believe. Okay? Who is it? Do you believe in miracles? Is that Disney? Well, who jingle was that? Do you believe in miracles? That was Disney? Yeah, I believe in miracles. I believe in miracles. I don't even believe in miracles. I know miracles. I know miracles. Okay? So that is the second task. All right, that is the second task. Right. So first is to plant the seed, which is choosing the thoughts. Okay, and then the second is to water it and give it energy and attention. All right. Now moving forward, Matthew 13:26-30. It says, when the plants came and up and bore grain, then weeds appeared also. And the servants of the master of the house came and said to him, Master, did you not sow good seeds in your field? Who is the master, y'all? Who is the master? I said it earlier. Who is the master? It's you. It's your conscious mind. The conscious mind is the master, right? It sits on top of the mountain, but the subconscious mind is the servant. Conscious mind says, I wish. Subconscious mind says, your wish is my command. Okay? So, Master, did you not plant good seeds in your field? How then does it have weeds? He said to them, an enemy has done this. Okay? So the servant said to him, subconscious mind said to him, then do you want us to go and gather them? But he said, no, lest the gathering of the weeds you root up the wheat along with them. Let both grow until the harvest, and at harvest time I will tell the reapers, gather the weeds first and bind them in bundles to be burned, but gather the wheat into my barn. Okay? So you are the master, and what this is speaking about is what's going to crop up when you plant good seeds. The master says, I didn't plant them. I didn't plant these negative thoughts, but they come. They're still coming, y'all. Okay? Even if you're not intentionally planting them and you're not giving energy, they're coming. Okay? Right? When we look at physics, what attracts to positive? What attracts to positive in physics? It's just nature. It's balance. Negative. So when you start planning something good, it's not anything bad happening. You just need to be aware of how the process happens. It's not, oh, somebody's trying to get me, the devil's trying to get me. No. We just have to be aware that when we plant something positive, there's balance in the universe, and so negative things are going to attract. Okay? So we don't have to be surprised by that anymore, right? So the second W, first we plant, then we water. The second W is now we have to weed. Now we have to weed. We have to keep the bad thoughts away. We know they're going to spring up, but we have to keep them away. And you want to know something that's interesting? If you've ever looked at weeds, in fact, I was in my backyard with my daughter, and she couldn't decipher which ones were plants and which one were weeds. She could not tell which ones were plants and which ones were weeds, okay? Because weeds oftentimes look like plants. You know those things that you, the ones that you blow and you make a wish? I forgot what those are called. And they're not dandelions. Are those dandelions? Those are actually weeds. Those are actually weeds, y'all. They will mess up your other stuff, okay? So weeds can look nice sometimes. Weeds can look nice, so you got to be able to decipher what is what, and you're trying to keep these bad thoughts away, okay? You have to keep these bad thoughts away from getting in, stealing resources, stealing energetic resources, right? From the water that you're pouring in, from the energy that you're giving, from the seed that you actually planted, all right? So let them grow together, but you know at the harvest time, you have to be able to decipher what from what, and then burn, release, extinguish the things that crop up, okay? You know that is mine. I don't know about these other things around here. I am focused on that right there because that is the seed that I planted. Nope, I planted the seed of corn. All I expect is corn. I don't know what that other stuff is. I am giving energy to that corn regardless of what's springing up around it. That is what I planted, and I'm continuing to nurture that, and I'm not getting distracted by these other things, okay? So we have to keep our focus. because it's easy to get distracted. Okay. So John 15:2, every branch in me that does not bear fruit, he taketh away. And every branch that does bear fruit, he prunes, that it may bear more fruit. Boom. So what is the last P, y'all? What is our fourth piece of work? It is to prune. Number 4 is to prune, meaning to refine for growth. Pruning can hurt. It looks like cutting back. But when you have an idea that's unfolding and manifesting, it may start growing in ways that you didn't intend for, or you're not ready to hold. And so you have to prune it. But when you prune, you're cutting off a branch, you're cutting off something. And guess what? That means that all the energy that was in that thing and going towards that branch or that direction gets to be put back into the direction that you want this idea or this seed, this thought to grow. So pruning doesn't mean just I cut it off and then it's going to grow back in that direction. No, you're pruning so that the energy can go, more energy can go back in the direction of the way that you want it to grow. This is why we prune. It's not just about pruning to grow it back in the direction that you just cut. No, it's about rechanneling that energy. This is what it means to cut off. Okay. So Instagram, it's going to cut off in 20 seconds. I'm going to restart it on Instagram, but I encourage you to go to juliangordon.com/TFC, juliangordon.com/TFC. So Instagram, I'm going to start it over, but go to juliangordon.com/TFC. All right. So everybody type 4, prune. Type 4 is to prune. Okay. We got to cut back the vision. We're not limiting the vision, okay? But we have to cut back to spur more growth. And I'll put it to you like this. Jay-Z, if he would have tried to grow Rockefeller Records, Rockaware, Spotted Pig, 40/40 Club, all at the same time, he would have failed and he would not be who he is today. Now, were all those $1 million ideas inside of him? Yes, they were inside of him. Okay, they were inside of him the moment he was born. And he may have had them as soon as he started making some headway as a rapper. But he knew he had to grow a trunk first. Some of you are growing business, trying to grow ideas, and you got so many ideas, you're trying to do all of them at once. What tree have you seen start with branches first and then try to build a trunk up here? Okay, no, one idea gets rooted. One idea gets rooted and firm, and you grow that and you build a trunk. And once that trunk is strong enough, then you start branching out. Jay-Z's trunk was rap. Rockefeller Records, that was the trunk. Then it became Rock Nation. That was his trunk. And from that trunk, all these other things were able to branch out and off of. But some of us have so many ideas and we're trying to plant too many seeds at once, and we don't have enough water inside of us to give them all the attention and energy that they need to grow. And then we're looking at the soil like, why aren't these things coming up yet? It's because you're splitting your energy in too many ways. Okay? Focused energy is more powerful than dispersed energy. Focused energy is more powerful than dispersed energy. Okay? So we have to focus on that one seed first and trust that if we do so, it's going to spring up and have enough strength to then allow you to branch out in other ways. If you try to grow all the seeds that are in your mind at once, you will not have enough attention and energy or water to give to them. You won't be able to attend to that entire garden. So this is a challenge for folks. But I just invite you to ask the question, which one can lead the way? Of all these amazing ideas that I've tapped into because of the frequency, the elevator that I'm at, the level that I'm at, I can see a lot more up here. I see a whole bunch of $1 million ideas around me. Which one resonates with me the most? My spirit, my frequency, my purpose, my work inside the Father's business. What's my department? I'm gonna start with my department, okay? And I'm gonna focus on that. I'm gonna get really great at that. And I know that if I get really great at that, it's going to provide me with more than enough to branch out to other new ideas that I want. So which one can lead the way? That is for you to decide. Okay? That is for you to decide and pray on. All right? So then ultimately, if you are able to go through this 4-step process of planting, watering, weeding, and pruning, you will start to see the thoughts in your mind start to bear fruit. The same fruit that was actually on the package, right? You will see those start to manifest in your life. This is your work. This is your work. You could have the longest to-do list and you could check off everything on your to-do list that you want. But if you aren't guarding the mind and there's a whole bunch of fear, doubt, and worry, because that's what the weeds are, fear, doubt, and worry, okay? If you're letting them creep in, you could be the most productive person from a to-do list standpoint ever. And what you're trying to create won't manifest at the level that you desire. And if it does manifest, it's because of manpower, not because of God's power. It's based on your hands, and it'll be limited by your hands, as opposed to tapping into God's hand, which is when you see ideas spread quickly, when you see ideas expand, that could only have been because of God's hand. Because no individual, and most individuals who have ideas like that that spread, they couldn't replicate it if they wanted to. What we want to do in Christ consciousness is being able to replicate that over and over and over again, right? Jesus fed multitudes many times, several times, okay? Several times. One time I think it was 3,000, the other time I think it was 5,000. Okay, he could replicate it over and over again. There are people who have manifested at a high level because the laws are working whether you're aware of them or not. So there are people who manifested at a high level, but they don't know how. They don't know how, therefore they can't replicate. And so what they have manifested, they hold on to in fear because they don't know if they could do it again if they lost it all. If you knew that you could do it again and you could just replicate, then you have no fear whatsoever. You just continue to create and move about. All right? So we are seeking to have that level of awareness, and it's one that we have to work on over time, okay? So Genesis 39:5 says, and it came to pass from the time that he had made him overseer, and he's talking about Joseph here, in his house, okay? You see, I underlined some key words. This is not about, we want to understand the allegory. What's the real meaning behind this? And it came to pass from the time that he, one more thing that I forgot to mention up here is that for ye know not what hour your Lord doth come. I meant to say, in regards to that, you don't know when it's going to manifest. Let me change that. We, me included, okay? When I say you, I'm included in that. I'm learning as I teach, okay? We try to put timelines on things. Oh, I want to be this by this age. I want to be this by next year. You don't know when God is going to move and bring that seed above ground to be exposed to the world. But you have to trust that God's time is divine and perfect. You have to trust in divine timing. And your faith is being able to still see the finished form, even if you don't see it breaking through the soil yet. Knowing that if it is in God's will, that it will manifest. That is a real key, is the patience. Some of us so impatient, we plant seeds and then the next day we uprooting them because they ain't manifested. This is like folks who get caught up in get rich quick schemes and multi-level marketing. You planted a seed and you expect to be a millionaire the next day. No. You have to trust if that seed was planted, if you got that thought from being in alignment with your creator and operating at your highest frequency, it will manifest. It says, ask and you shall receive. The only thing that's stopping you from receiving is you getting in the way. So when you are in alignment and you believe and you know where you got that seed from, that the manufacturer on that seed was your creator, then you have to, it is your work to hold the faith and the belief even when you can't see anything. People talking about you, you've been going at that for 3 years and I don't see nothing. I don't see no fruit. You've been going at that for quite some time. You spend a lot of money. I don't see anything. I don't care what you see. All I care about is what God sees and what I see. Okay? Have faith, because we don't know the time. And this causes you, and this is for all of us, is to release your timelines. Release your timelines. Time is fictitious anyways. Release your timelines and trust in divine timing. God can make it manifest in 5 years. God can make it manifest in 5 days. You have to trust. You have to trust, okay? When that it will manifest at the perfect divine time. My homie, he's a musician. I've known his greatness since he was 18 years old. 18 years old. I've known his greatness. Some of you might know him, D Smoke. D Smoke. How many of y'all know D Smoke? How many know D Smoke? He won that show with T.I. and Cardi B or whatnot. I've known his greatness for a long, long time. That's one of my mentees. Okay. And we went to UCLA together. We went to UCLA together. That's one of my mentees. He'll tell you that. I've known how great he was as a musician and as a human being for a long time. And in my own lack of belief, I was wondering, like, man, why he ain't blown up yet? And he had some maturity to do. Nothing negative, but there was a perfect divine time for him to blow up. And you saw how quickly it happened with that show. You saw how quickly it happened with that show. He had already won that show before it even started, y'all. He had won that show before it already started, just based on all the work that I knew I had seen him do even before, because he comes from a family of musicians, okay? And so what was it? Earlier this year or last year, it got announced that he won the show, even though it was recorded 9 months earlier, I think. And we see it take off. And now was the perfect timing for a musician like him to enter into the space. So I give that to you as an example. But he loved music so much, he wasn't worried about a timeline. His brother got signed to TDE, Kendrick Lamar's label, before he did. His younger brother. My younger brother getting signed before me? No, that's not how he felt about it. He just kept doing what he loved, kept doing what he loved, having faith, having faith, having faith. And then just like that, boom. Where he come from? Oh, he came from 30 years ago. He been doing this. What you mean? You just becoming aware of him. He's known who he is for a long, long time. We're just waiting on God to determine when the floodgates were going to open. We're just waiting on God. And he had faith. He wasn't giving up. He wasn't one of these people like, man, if it ain't happening, I'm just going to do something else. No, this is who he is. This is who he is. He was going to be a musician whether he got a record deal or not. He was going to be a musician whether he won that show or not. And he makes good music. He makes good music that is in alignment with the will. Okay? My homeboy D1, same thing. D1, same thing. New Orleans, Jadena, same thing. I don't know why these musicians are in my life, but whatever it is, I've been able to witness their journeys. D1, I just met him, Jadena, we went to Stanford together. Seen the same thing. Same thing. All of a sudden, classic man, boom. Right? So, it's just a beautiful thing, y'all, to be able to witness it in someone else. And so if you can witness it in someone else, you have to know that it's also true for you. If you can witness it in someone else, you have to know that it can also, that it is, not that it can be, that it is also true for you. Okay? Gravity, if it works for somebody else, it's going to work for you. Gravity is not selective. Gravity doesn't say, no, you can't get in. You can't use me. No, that's not how universal laws work. Okay? That's not how universal laws work. So I just want you to know that. All right? So if you're joining us on Instagram, please go to thefinancialchurch.com so that you can see the PowerPoint that I'm talking from. I'm preaching today, which means I'm preaching and teaching. And so I want you to see the slides. All right? Cool. So let's keep it moving. Genesis 39:5, and it came to pass from the time he had made him overseer in his house and overall that the Lord blessed the Egyptian's house for Joseph's sake, and the blessings of the Lord was upon all that he had in the house and in the field. Now, if you're not careful, there will be, and you look at the imagery of Egyptians and the positioning of Egyptians in the Bible, they'll have you thinking that white people were running from brown people. Okay, so I just want you to release that imagery. We have been the artist of the Christian artists, white Christian artists in particular, have just done a greater job of creating art to personify God than people of color. But we know that it wasn't no white people. When in history have you seen white people running from brown people? When have we ever chased somebody from somewhere? Our heart doesn't work in that way. Our heart doesn't work in that way. So you got to be very careful with this imagery. When they put on these biblical productions and they cast white folks from Hollywood and things of that nature, and they try to paint them a little bit tan, etc. You just got to be careful. You got to be very careful. All right. So Egypt in the Bible is positioned as this evil place. And so what that tells you as a person of color that you come from evil people that were trying to enslave God's children. There's no historical evidence of that occurring. But if you take the Bible literally, then that's what you'll accept. There's no historical evidence of that occurring. Okay? So I just want you to be very careful, and I just want you to read for yourself. That's my perspective. I just want you to read for yourself. All right? So we know that the Bible is allegorical. The word Joseph, the name Joseph, actually means he will add. That's what it means. And when you see these characters in the Bible, I want you to go read their names and go study their name and what it actually means. So the overseer is the observer, and that is your observational mind. Okay, the mind that is above conditions and circumstances, that can just see life from a bird's eye view and see it for what it truly is. Okay, and then we know that the mind is the house. Our body is the temple. Okay, our mind is the house. Okay, and then the field is actually earth. The field is actually earth. So I'll read it again. And it came to pass from the time that he had made him an observer, okay, observer from a bird's eye view, watching over, okay, in his mind and over all that he had, the Lord blessed the Egyptian house for Joseph's sake, and the blessings of the Lord was upon all that he had in the mind and in the field on earth, okay? So this is a metaphysical reading of the Bible. This is a metaphysical reading of the Bible. And again, more will be revealed to you in that way, okay? So we want to bring what we hear down to earth, okay? We don't just want this to be some spiritual concepts. We're not into the woo-woo, okay? On earth as it is in heaven. That is the mission here, is to take the heaven, these beautiful ideas, these $1 million ideas that are in our mind, and to manifest them here on earth, not just to stay up in heaven, okay? This is the game that we get to play. So these are my questions for you, and I encourage you all to take a screenshot of this. These are my questions for you according to today's lesson. What is the name, the finished form, of a seed you've planted or want to plant? I want you to name it. In chat, name it. It could be a business. It could be a relationship. It can be a book. I want you to name that seed right here and right now in its finished form. What is the name in finished form of a seed you've planted or want to plant and you want to see grow 100-fold? Type that in. Courtney said FCR Solutions Group. Beautiful. Official Trey Pope said peace of mind. Amit said I just want to own a business. Karen said build up the Black community. Cheryl said financial freedom. Kadisha said build our legacy. Den said Black New Jerusalem, First New Jerusalem. Chantel said real estate investing. Rochelle said Christian blog. Bernadette said faith HR consulting. Cedric said Blue Forest Real Estate Solutions. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. These are all beautiful, and these ideas are already here. Your work as the gardener is to see them in finished form and hold them until they actually come. Remember, we work in 3 dimensions. First dimension is the thought. The second dimension is putting it on paper as a goal, as a business plan, as a architectural design. And then the third dimension is when you've actually manifested that thing and can experience it yourself. You can experience yourself through that creation. 3 dimensions. That's what 3-dimensional is. First dimension is the thought. Okay. Second dimension is putting it on paper, getting it out of your head. Putting it on paper alone starts to manifest it because it's now outside of you. It's in the world, but it's flat still. Okay. As a goal on a piece of paper, as a business plan, okay, as an architectural design, okay, that is 2D. And then 3D is the actual physical manifestation. All right. So next question is, what does watering it mean for you? Given the seed that you just named, what does watering it mean for you? What does giving it attention and energy mean for you? This is your to-do list. Whatever you had on your to-do list, if it's not aligned with these things, then that's not what you should be doing, okay? So Cheryl said, getting educated. Al said, be investing in real estate. Rosemary, I want to action. Rosemary said, growth. I want to action. Terrell said, seeking a mentor. Michelle said, personal development. Be a little bit more specific, Michelle. Tanya said, researching and writing. Courtney said, putting in the work daily for daily deals and opportunities. Tyshawn said, starting the investment. Wendy said, listening to a real estate podcast. No, Andrea said that. Wendy said, 2 doors, aromatherapy, and yoga business. Great. These are actions, INGs, okay? Now, number 3, what are the weeds you have to watch out for in and around you? Okay, remember the devil is not outside of you, but it can manifest outside of you, okay? So doubt, haters, okay? Cheryl, the haters are not outside of you. Just know that. Those are projections from inside your own mind. Naysayers, those are projections from inside your mind. You actually feel that about yourself, and it's returning to you through another person, okay? I see a lot of you. Come on, y'all. Enemy of the inner me. I like that, Terrell. There are no haters, y'all. There are no haters. These are projections from our own mind. We needed somebody else to project as opposed to looking in the mirror and saying, I'm hating on myself. I'm hating on myself. I'm belittling myself. I'm doubting myself. It wasn't your mom who doubted you. It wasn't your dad who doubted you. It wasn't your significant other who doubted you. It was you doubting you, and it manifested and returned to you through them. They are all characters and projections in your life that you created with your own mind. Okay? We got to be very careful of externalizing these things. Okay? We have to be very, very careful. Okay? So these are good. Procrastinating. Procrastination, fear. Okay, good. So 4th question is, what areas do you know you need to prune? You've been trying to build it all at once. You're trying to build it in a day. What do you need to prune? What do you need to prune? Some of those drugs, weed, I need to let that go. Rochelle said TV. I have to prune TV. It's not supporting my vision. It's taking away my energy. It's taking energy away from my vision. Khadisha, lack of discipline. Friends not on the same frequency. Good one, Terrell. Dante trying to prune his wife. Dante, you can't prune your wife, man. You can't prune your wife. Get her on board, okay? Now, I know it can be very difficult when your wife, or not your wife, but you're just your significant other is not on the same frequency as you. That's one of the hardest places to be. Okay? Discipline, clutter, Netflix, social media. Yep, I shouldn't be seeing some of y'all on social media as much as I do, okay? I'm trying to go there, post to inspire y'all, and then I'm out. I'm in and I'm out, okay? Patience or impatience. I need to prune impatience. Y'all said masturbation. I got to let it go. These are good. These are good. All right? Cool. So this is how we bring heaven down to earth. We get real. Hey, we're not just going to leave with inner high. Okay? We want some actionable things, and we want to be in alignment with PWWP. Yep. It's okay. Please, no laughing at folks. People are being honest. They're pouring out their hearts, okay? Porn is a big one, especially when people are single, they're in solitude right now, and they might have inner craving, okay? If we can take that sexual energy and apply it to that which we're seeking to create, it's going to manifest a lot faster. That's what that sexual energy inside you should be used for at this moment in time, if you can. If you can. There's no judgment. I'm not here to judge you, okay? But that is energy. All we know is that's energy, and we know that that is a powerful creative energy. It is the energy that actually creates babies, okay? So again, if we can prune it and channel that energy towards the seed that you said you wanted to grow, it's just gonna be a power. You're gonna see that you're gonna write 3 chapters and be like, whoa, that's gonna be your orgasm is finished in 3 chapters. That's gonna be your orgasm, okay? I know I'm getting a little, I'm gonna stop. I'm just having fun, y'all. This is fun. All right, cool. So, of course, I got my affirmation for y'all, and I wrote this, and go ahead and take a screenshot of it, all right? So this is our closing affirmation for today. I am a gardener. I am guarding my inner, okay? I am a gardener. Actually, I want you to read this with me wherever you are. I want you to read this with me wherever you are, okay? So we're going to start together, and we're going to start with the first line. I am a gardener. The Garden of Eden is in the temple of my mind. This is where atoms have their Eve before they manifest. Of myself, I do nothing. The Father doeth the works. My mental to-do list is to align, listen, and let go. Even when I'm not physically working, God is working for me full time. All things are working together for my good. My work is to choose what I want, plant the seed in the good soil of my subconscious mind, and nourish it with love and faith. I must protect it from the weeds of fear, doubt, and worry, and prune it to facilitate new growth. I create the conditions for success in the heaven of my mind, and God manifests those conditions as my earthly experience called life. Ashe, amen, and so it is. Take a screenshot. I'm going to read it one more time, okay? Repetition. I am a gardener. The Garden of Eden is in the temple of my mind. This is where the atoms have their Eve before they manifest. Of myself, I do nothing. The Father doeth the works. My mental to-do list is to align, listen, and let go. Even when I'm not physically working, God is working for me full time. All things are working together for my good, our good, the greatest good. My work is to choose what I want, plant the seed in good soil of my subconscious mind, and nourish it with love and faith. I must protect it from the weeds of fear, doubt, and worry, and prune it to facilitate new growth. I create the conditions for success in the heaven of my mind, and God manifests those conditions as my earthly experience called life. Ashe, amen, and so it is. Boom. All right. All right. What was your biggest takeaway from today? I felt used on that one. Felt good about it. I couldn't wait to teach it. It came to me earlier in the week. I was excited that I must guard my inner being, two people in me, my subconscious and conscious mind aligning, not me waiting for another person to validate my idea. PWWP, increasing my faith, change my thought and it would change my actions. The Bible is allegorical primarily, not literal. I need to change my perspective. PWWP, I'm the gardener, pruning, okay? The power of pruning, focusing energy, constantly pruning. Of myself, I do nothing. I'm supposed to be in alignment. Mindset pruning, realigning my thought patterns with the will, the greater will. Boom, that was good. All right, so last week we took up an offering, and before I say that word and people start jumping out of here, like jumping out of buildings, okay? This offering is not an offering for me. It's not an offering for an institution, okay? This is our faith fund. And it is, we believe that giving is a spiritual practice. And the faith fund goes back to people in this community who are in need right now, okay? We're not collecting for some building fund that lasts 30 years. This is an offering and a pool of money that we create to pour into people who are in some sort of need right now, okay? I'm so excited to share that last week, the first time we did this, you all collectively poured in $1,125 into the faith fund, y'all. Like, that was a spontaneous moment. I started it, and collectively, we put together $1,125. It was absolutely beautiful to experience, and we just know that giving is a spiritual practice. Again, you're not giving to me. You're not giving to the financial church. The reason I love this space is because I'm already set. I don't need any money. I don't need any money from outside source. Okay. So I'm able to give freely here. But we do this as a way of allowing you to be in the giving practice and process, right? And to support. I remember, this is how I think offerings should work. This is how I think offerings should work. But unfortunately, I don't know if they do. Okay. So what we do now, so right now I'm giving you the chance to give to my Cash App, to my Venmo, or to my PayPal. I saw some funds just come through already. And this is our opportunity to give. While you are in the giving process, what I will do is I will open it up for someone who needs money right now. Someone who needs money right now. It could be a cell phone bill. It could be a utility bill. It could be groceries, like you need gas because you still need to get to work or something like that. If there's anybody out there who needs to be blessed at this moment in time, who needs to receive. You've been a giver all your life. You've been giving, and you feel empty right now, and you need to receive, then please let me know. Please let me know. There's no shaming here. In fact, you don't have to get into any shame story of, oh, this is why. All we want to know is how much you need down to the penny. Okay. So it should be a very specific number. Okay. A very specific number. And we don't care about the past. We don't care about the past. The past is gone. All we were going to ask you is how you will be a better steward of this stored energy we call money going forward. And with that, we will happily bless you as a community. So all you do is come on. You do not have to come on camera. Okay. You do not have to come on camera. All you have to do is talk audio. So you do need to be in Zoom to take advantage of this opportunity. And we will PayPal you, Venmo you, or Cash App you, or Zelle you as soon as this is over. This is how we operate. This is how I believe tithe and offering should operate. Okay. Michelle says, can we recommend someone in the group who has not WKs because of Corona? Michelle, please type that again. I'm not sure what that means. We do want this person to have been here at least 2 times. And the reason for that is, even if you are externally experiencing scarcity at this moment in time, we want to know that you are working on your poverty consciousness by being here to get this wealth consciousness. Okay. So this is not, we are stewards of money. And yes, it is good to give to the poor, give to those who are in need. But if we do not solve the problem at the root, which is poverty consciousness, then what happens is we just keep giving into an abyss. Okay. So this person, if they have no money, they can still show up here and be getting this education, right? So this is how we operate. Is there anybody who needs support right now? My PayPal is, yes, it's paypal.me/Julian Gordon. paypal.me/Julian Gordon. Okay. Again, we encourage this person. Yes, that is Mariah. That is my Cash App. It's Julian Gordon, 2 J's, Jullien Gordon, Gordon. And Venmo is at Julian Gordon as well. Come on, y'all. There is no shame here. There is no shame here. They're asking for the last 4 digits of my phone number on Venmo. It would be 0891. The last 4 digits of my phone number on Venmo is 0891. I've never heard that before. 0891 is the last 4 digits for me on Venmo. Okay. Okay. So McClarty needs, and I'm going to bring them on right now. We've been waiting to give in this way. And so we celebrate you. All right. So allow to talk. Unmute. Hello, how are you?
Hello?
Yes, how are you?
Good, how are you?
We're doing great. I'm doing great. I think we're all doing great. What's going on? I know you've been here. I know you've been here, so I'm excited to see that you've been here consistently, and we celebrate you for that, even though you might be in this in this moment be in a particular condition.
Yes, no, I've been actually following you since 2016. If you look in your DM, I've been sending you several different messages trying to get my students to interview you, which of course we can't do that until things are done differently.
Yeah,
But if you check your
understood.
DM, I've been following you since 2016.
Awesome, awesome. So what is your specific need right now?
Well, I have a not-for-profit here in Harlem, and the difficulty that we're having is actually getting iPads and laptops and having Wi-Fi available for the students to go on Google Classroom.
Okay.
So I have like maybe 4 young faces smiling ambassadors who
Yep.
have told me that. So if we could just help one, that'd be a blessing.
Okay. One, in terms of they need a full iPad.
Yes,
Okay. And
or a laptop.
which iPad are you, which iPad do you, you have 4 of them already, right?
No. There are 4 students who are in need.
Okay.
I
So
have a small nonprofit, and normally my company, we go into the schools. So I
yes,
never had to supply the students with that because we were able to use the school property at that time. But now that the students are here, I don't mean no disrespect to the media, but there are a million students, and about 750,000 is African American and Hispanic, and there's not enough equipment, even though they're saying every kid got a laptop and
I understand.
iPad. That's
I
not true.
understand. Does it have to be an iPad? If you need 4 of them, there are cheaper tablets than iPad. Does it have to be an iPad?
Actually, I would have to talk to a student. We just always used an iPad. We used Mac inside the schools. We never used Dell.
Okay, understood. All right. So what we are willing to do every week, we give out at least 300. So what we would be happy to do is if we can either Venmo you or PayPal you. Do you have any of those?
I have Cash Apps and PayPal.
Okay.
Yes.
And would you prefer us to Cash App you, or would you prefer me to buy the iPad for you and mail it to you?
The reason why I would prefer Cash App because it is connected to the 501c3. So
Your
you
Cash
will
App
get,
is?
yes, it is the company's. Even though you
All
see
right.
A. McClarity, I'm the founder, but
Yes.
all of our connections to the website or anything when people donate, it goes directly to the nonprofit account.
Understood. So what we're going to do is we're going to contribute 300. Rochelle Bryan, who is a member of our community, if she gets a job, she gets a match from her job. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to send the 300 to Rochelle first, so that she
Yes.
can initiate the gift, get her job to match it, and that will actually multiply it to 600.
Oh, that would be such a blessing.
Okay. Beautiful.
Yes.
Beautiful. So consider it done. It is yours. And we are excited to give to you in that way.
Yes. And then also, once again, please check your DM under Young Faces Smiling. I really would love to have my students interview you. I've been watching you since you were in Brooklyn.
Yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. My DMs are crazy, but I will go in there and try to find it. Yeah, when they are back in session, then that's something we can consider.
Yes. And so what I do, just a brief understanding for people to understand what Young Faces Smiling is.
Yes.
My actual mentor, who was my mother's pastor, 15 years ago, we started a nonprofit where we connect students to celebrities, entrepreneurs, and public figures through letter writing. So
Okay.
I will normally go into a school for 10 weeks, teach 100 kids, and every week we teach on the different celebrity that's an entrepreneur or public figure, and then we guarantee that the students will connect to at least one, if not all, of the individuals that they're learning from.
Beautiful. That's absolutely amazing. And we thank you. We know that that is God's work, and we are so grateful to support you in this way and to pour this stored energy into the life of your organization, to you and the life of your organization.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. And it's
No problem. So I need
been
you to
my
email. I need you to email me, please. Don't not the DM because it'll get lost there. Please
sure.
email me. I need you and Rochelle to email me. I need you to email me. I need you to email me your name, your address, and your Cash App.
Okay. And can I just open up so that I can email you now, if you don't mind?
Yeah, you can open up your browser and email me now. And then Rochelle, please email me your Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, etc.
And your email is?
Oh, it's Julian at
Can you
thefreedomschool.com. Julian at thefreedomschool.com.
can you just
Julian,
spell it? I'm sorry.
Jullien,
Jull.
IEN
Uh-huh.
at thefreedomschool.com. You got it?
Yes, I'm just
What's
trying to
your,
finish.
everybody's asking, what is your website?
My website is Young Faces with an S smiling.org.
Young
And I
Faces
am Miss McClarity, the co-founder.
Smiling.org. Great. So I put that in for everyone. So I'm looking for
You said
email.
Julian at thefreedomschool.com.
Yeah, they put it in chat, and that is correct.
Okay, I'm just going to send you an email now just to say hello.
Yeah, please do. And then I'm going to have Sharita get the money to Rochelle. Rochelle will go through her process. Maybe it's a quick process. Maybe it takes a minute, but you should have $600 coming your way to support the youth.
And thank you for really doing what you said you were going to do. I really appreciate that.
Of course, that's integrity. I'm a man of my word. Word is bond. And so literally word is bond. And so I'm grateful to be able to serve in this way.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Rochelle, for the match. That's really exciting. And before we go forward, I want to show, I promised everybody that here we would have an exact accounting of what we brought together. Yeah, there's going to be 100% transparency in this process. So this will go to young faces smiling, and I'm going to put negative 600 here. Okay. And this is 419. I know some of you have already contributed today. I saw it popping up on my phone. So I'll add that in, but this is our exact accounting, y'all. This is our exact accounting of everybody who's given. And I just want to thank each and every one of you for pouring into this. So our balance right now, I haven't added in all the contribution today, but our balance is back down to 525. Actually, we're giving 300. Rochelle is matching, excuse me. So we're going to continue to grow this fund and continue to support people. We want to support members of our community who are coming to get this consciousness so that they never end up in the situation again, and that they are soon in the position to be able to give the way they've been given to. So with that, let me go back to my slides. All right. So with that, I just want to remind everybody to go sign up for text message reminders. If you're joining us on Facebook or Zoom, go to thefinancialchurch.com and sign up so that you can be on Zoom with us next time, be able to see the slides. Right now, what's coming through me is the teaching on the power of our tongue or the power of our word. That's what's top of mind for me right now. And I'll continue to explore that this week, and we'll see if that ends up being the message. So I just want to thank everyone who's given. Let me see if I can go see folks real quick. Let me see. Right now, I'm going to look at Cash App real quick. Come on. I just want to thank everybody who's given. Continue. Cash App is going slow. I want to thank everybody and celebrate everybody who's given. This is a celebration for us. The opportunity to give means that we are in a mindset of abundance. And so we are so grateful. We are so grateful for everyone. Cash App is, let me go to my email. I think it might come through my email because I just want to read off people's names. And it's okay. I know some people like to give anonymously, but here we want to affirm you, and I'll just do first names. Come on. All right, so I want to thank Mariah. I want to thank WMS. I want to thank Kelly. I want to thank Avis, Patrick, Alan, Booze, Ricardo, Catherine, Deirdre, Denise, Natanya, Monica, Kadisha, Courtney, Michelle, Andrea, Lakia, and Samantha. I want to thank you all for contributing this week. It means a lot. The numbers don't matter. We don't mention numbers here. Remember, parable of the talents, whether you came back with 5 talents to 10 or you turn 10 talents to 20, turn 2 talents to 4 or 5 talents to 10, the master didn't care about the number. It cared about the spirit. It cared about the spirit. And so I want to celebrate and thank each one of you for giving into the Faith Fund. And we are going to continue to disperse this economic resource, this stored energy, to people and causes that are doing good or God's work. So with that, I want to say thank you to everyone for being here today. I feel filled up right now. And I just want to bless everyone. I wish you a great, great week. And we will be right back here next Sunday, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please pray for me and for the right message to bring to the community as I continue seeking to figure out what it is that you all need at this moment in time. I appreciate each and every one of you so much. For those of you in Multifamily Movement, I will talk to you at 8 p.m. Eastern for our weekly deal room call. All right. Much love, y'all. Oh, I don't send out the slides, but the recording will be at thefinancialchurch.com. The recording will be at thefinancialchurch.com. All right. Much love, y'all. Peace.